We've now got U.S. Amateur Champion Doc Redman, rookie on the PGA Tour. You considered a rookie this year or was last year because did you get enough starts?
I have no idea.
Perfect.
I don't know.
You're somewhere between a rookie and
Right.
and a sophomore out here on tour.
Right.
Obviously won the U.S. Amateur in 2017 at Riviera. And one thing that I always thought was really cool is that what the question he asked me before he won the NCAA's, or the U.S. Amateur rather, what it shows me what he's focusing on and how he's thinking about how he's attacking improvement was he sent me an email before the Western Am saying, Scott, I've entered 20 rounds or something this summer. Could you take a look at my stats as I'm heading into the Western Am and US Am and just tell me what you see? I mean, just tell me why that was important to you or how you view stats and improvement.
Right. I think it was important because if I remember correctly, I thought I was playing pretty well, and I'd played decent that summer, had a good finish or two, but nothing crazy. So I just wanted to, especially going to the end of the year, those two big events, I wanted to know if there was anything you thought I could really focus in on to play great. And one of my goals was to make the Walker Cup team, so it was getting really important, and I just wanted that little bit of edge.
Yeah, and so that's what's interesting is I've said a million times, I've had a number of college kids ask me, hey, do you have the course packet for the Son of Hannah or this or that? You're the only player that actually asked me for input on his stats, which I just found amazing. And then obviously you lose the Western in the finals, and here's a guy who's just really, trying really hard to improve, and he's really good at golf, but also looking not just on the course, not just physically what can I do better, but where can I find any edge?
Right, exactly. I think that was, that was big to me, and I think I, we talked a lot, and I thought I was doing all the on-course stuff well, and just needed to, just wondering if there was anything in between the lines that I couldn't see that an expert like you could see. And
Ooh, expert, nice.
Yeah.
I thought I would open with that interview just because I think that it's really important that you see inside the mind of a current PGA Tour player and a U.S. Amateur champion, to see the importance that he placed on tracking his stats and then actually trying to glean something from the data. And unfortunately, entering data does just take a little bit of time. It just is what it is. Entering the data in the Elite GPS version of the Decade app takes about 15 minutes. It's really not that big of a deal, and since we have it optimized for phone entry, you can find time when you're sitting on the couch or sitting anywhere, hint hint, to enter your data. But the main thing I really want to drive in this Foundations app is I want to take the time for you to really be learning course management and strategy versus really spending even 15 minutes. I understand that's not much, but 15 minutes a couple times a week, I'd rather you at this stage in your game use that time to learn and watch tutorial content within the Foundations app. So with that in mind, we've created a new data entry interface and a new stats program entirely, to be perfectly honest, that's all based on what we call the Tiger 5. And I've heard from enough players and enough caddies say the exact same thing, that Tiger tracked these 5 things, and they were no bogeys on par 5s, no double bogeys, no 3-putts, no bogeys with 9 irons or less, and no blown easy saves. Well, and since we don't know what a 9 iron or less is for Tiger, we've just reduced that down to 150 yards and in. And since we don't really know what a blown easy save is, since that's subjective to Tiger's opinion, we're going with 2 chips, because actually from the Elite portal of the Decade app, we've found that that correlates very closely with overall save rates for the mid 70s and low 80s type shooter. And a 2 chip is simply, did you have 2 chip shots on one hole or not? And since the whole goal of this new version of the app is to have a streamlined data entry, I feel like we've accomplished that here. We click on the round entry button, starting hole 1, holes played 18, date played, obviously we can change the date as need be, round type, practice, tournament, and qualifying, round score, let's say that I shot an 81, next, and we just have the 5 questions to ask. We start with the country club we played, or the golf course we played, Bentry CC, number of 3-putts, we'll say I had 2, double bogeys 2, bogeys on par 5s 1, bogeys from inside 150 4, and 2 chips on a hole, we did that 1 time. Click save, and now it brings us to our stats, and what you can see here is it has yours, and then a goal, and then actually what Tiger does in those categories. And what this goal is, it's based off of your scoring average combined with what you have done, so 2 double bogeys for your scoring average, obviously it's only 81 at this point. The next hurdle that will see a significant drop in your scoring average from one peer group to the next one, in this situation would take your double bogeys from 2 down to 1.8 per round. I'll explain all this in a little bit more detail in next month's video on statistics, because then you'll have some data to actually make it worthwhile to actually have something to compare it to. Get out there, do what Doc Redman did, track some stats, get some data, and I'll see you next month.